Hello and welcome back to Let Supreme Ghost Thief. We are playing one of the best city missions ever made in my opinion, and I know a lot of players share my view on that. Disorientation by Melan. This is a pretty much a direct sequel to Bad Debts that I recently played, but it's not so that you have to have played Bad Debts. It doesn't follow directly after the events in Bad Debts, but it's piggybacking on that universe, if you will. So it's in the series. And I've recently heard also, I think Marbleman mentioned, that Rose Garden might actually be a sequel even to Disorientation, or at least loosely attached to the same universe, following the same storyline, so to speak. So yeah, now since last time, I did get a comment from Skaki, actually, to one of the previous videos. I think maybe that was on the Bad Debts video, where he said that the Black Parade most probably will not be released until 2022. I said I was hoping it would come before the end of the calendar year, so a slight adjustment there. They are very, very close to completing that campaign, but it's such a massive undertaking that there's probably a lot of time spent on testing and finalizing that project, so I want to see it when it is completed. I don't want them to rush the release just to get it by a certain time. Deadlines only works to make work sloppy, rather than, I want it finished, but I want it to be done properly, 100%. And I would have the same attitude if I was a mission creator. So just wanted to give you a slight update there. So we are playing Disorientation, and even though it's for Thief 2, you can see that the menu is a Thief 1 menu, and I didn't say that really in Bad Debts, but Melan has, I would say, a liking towards the Thief 1 style rather than Thief 2, because his missions feel like a Thief 1 missions rather than what they're actually made for. I'm not sure why he's chosen to make it for Thief 2 then, but that's, irrelevant really. So let me read the background information as well for us, and what you find in the info file. After the conclusion to the Downlock affair, which is from Bad Debts, I decided to take a break from regular thieving, lay low and hide until the noise about assassinations and unlawful conspiracies dies down. I spent most of my time in a rented apartment and wasted a lot of my gains on bribes and rebuilding a network of trustworthy contacts. It wasn't enough. One night, on the way back home, there was a thud of heavy footsteps, and suddenly armed men were coming from all directions. It was clear these boys meant business and were out to kill. I ran. Only later the next day could I piece together the picture from contacts and keeping an open ear. The men were coming from Dark Smoke District, wedged between the plazas of Stone Market and the furnaces below Crag's Cleft, and ruled by one Lady Azamlarg, a stern judge and reputedly a bit of a collector. How she found out about my doings is a mystery, but judging by the force she sent to take me in, she must have a high opinion on my capabilities. After the Downlock job, the last thing I want is more attention, and an assassination is right out of the question. I need something more discreet, just a warning. It is said that Lady Azamlarg has a treasure room in her palace right next to the courthouse, where she hands down her verdicts, and she owns a valuable scepter that may be the perfect target for a bit of burglary. They say no one robs from a thief without suffering the consequences, and who am I to question old wisdom? Breaking into the palace will be no easy task. An associate I have done jobs for, but who has been careful to stay anonymous in our dealings, may have a key to a lower entrance, but he is not surrendering it without me doing him a favor first, and a downright odd one at that. Luckily, he has also provided me with handwritten instructions and a map of the district's streets and waterways. I will enter a Trundle Street to the north, where it is hopefully easy to stay out of sight until nightfall, and start from there. To send Lady Azamlarg a stronger message, I will also be picking up some valuables from her palace, and if that proves inadequate, there's always the neighborhood. Okay, a little bit of a longer background there, but okay. So Lady Azamlarg may have sent her best to kill you, but it is time to prove even her best are no match for your abilities. Break into her palace and steal her jeweled scepter. That's the main objective. Better teach the lady how real thievery is done. No less than 2,400 loot will suffice for the wrongs you suffered. You You are already a wanted man, better not make it worse by killing innocents. It will not serve your cause to kill an influential aristocrat. Let Lady Azamlarg live, so she may learn not to cross you again. Once you have accomplished your tasks, leave Darksmoke District the way you came. So, this mission can be Supreme Ghosted. It requires you to make a couple of pretty important choices, though, and decisions at the outset, so I will spend some time explaining that. We have to skip, in my opinion, 3 pieces of loot, but possibly more, and I will definitely discuss that once we get to it. Those of you that have watched Marbleman's video probably know what I'm referring to. Yeah, there are some choices, and I'm unsure on how to interpret some of the cases here. More on that later. So we have some instructions that was talked about in the info, so we'll read that in the beginning. There is a tip here. All that says is that somebody has a treasure on the top floor. Beaurigard, I think is his last name. And he has a mansion that is, or an estate that is pretty close to the beginning, actually. So that's all it says. I will show you that treasure, of course. I'll show you everything in the mission. There's no need to buy anything else for Ghost, and of course we can't for Supreme. 3 rope arrows is plenty. And we can go ahead and start. Make a real save, of course. And look at our map. So, actually, let me, before that, read the instructions. Garrett, in recognition of previous favors, I may be able to assist you in this matter. If you are first willing to help me with a small prank I have in mind. A mutual acquaintance you may have worked with before, Issen the Exchanger, was recently found guilty on count of thievery by the lady, and he is now hanging by the neck on the gallows in Widow's Way in the lower Darksmoke area. I want you to steal his body and carry him to the cellar of the Old Bell Tavern as a present to someone who will appreciate the joke. Mind you, the patrols tonight will be out in force, and it's unlikely the bartender and the bouncers, there's actually only one, maybe those outside are called bouncers too, would be happy to see you with your burden. Lay Issen down to sleep in a conspicuous location. That will make the point. After you've done this, meet me at the statue of St. Tenor, next to the tavern, and I will have a key ready. Forget not that Tenor's Plaza and Widow's are both heavily patrolled, and also that bowmen have been posted on the parapets to watch for unlawful interlopers. The lady will in all likelihood be alone in her quarters, and yet do not you underestimate her, for she is quick of wits and formidable with a blade. Okay, so this is not an objective, because it doesn't pop up in our objective list, even when we read it, but we are here given instructions to bring a body, Issen's body, from the gallows in Widow's Way to the tavern. And when we've done that, we will meet our contact at a statue where we will get a key, the key that will make us access the lady's palace then. Now this, of course, is not an objective, so we don't have to do this, and I would even say that moving his body to a different location when we don't have to is almost along the lines of a Supreme bust, and we would almost have to bring it back for Supreme, which would, as it says, you know, these areas are heavily patrolled, would be very dangerous, and I would say not in the best interest of a Supreme Ghoster. So there is actually another way into the palace that we're going to take that does not require us to do any of what those instructions are telling us to do. So that is what I'm going to do as well. This is then Stone Market, North Quarter, and Low Reach surround the area called Darksmoke. I don't think Darksmoke is mentioned in any of the original games, but it's definitely an area of the city presented to us in the Black Parade. So Darksmoke is an area, I guess, pretty close to Downlock. Can't remember exactly where it is on that big map, but anyway. We start way up here on Trundle Street in the far north. And there's sort of a street level here. You can't go west here up to Crag's Left Gate. There's a canal, and if you remember I said that bad debts suffered a little bit from not having something of that nature, a landmark. The canal here is very, very conspicuous and very easy to help you navigate the map. So this is the street down here. There's a market area that is sort of in between 4 major buildings, 3 of which we can get in. We cannot get into the courthouse, but you have a watch station here with the City Watch. You have Beaurigard's estate and the Mercantile Guild, and then just south of that you have the palace, Lady Azamlarg's palace. So there is one way to sort of go along the streets here. You can also move along the rooftops and through buildings to get here. You can also alternately go down by the canal and use that area to move through buildings down to the southern part. So this is just the north half of the map. The southern half sort of overlaps slightly. You see the palace is here just east of a clock tower. This is the street that continues down, and this is where the Old Bell Tavern is located then. So if we follow the canal down south here, there's St. Tenor's Priory. We cannot get in there. There are some warehouses and an old steel mill. There we can get in. There are some poorhouses and streets, so some plazas here that we can get in. And this is Widow's Way, and the gallows where Issen is found. So we are not going to go there to get his body and bring that back to the tavern. This is where you get the key then if you do that. Like I said, there is a different way into the palace, so we're going to do that first. And that does pose a few problems. So I'm going to discuss that once we get to the palace, because there's too much to discuss if I do all that right now. Now, like I said, Marbleman made a video, a recording of this mission, a very good one, where he actually Supreme Ghosted this mission. I did not watch that video, I didn't watch hardly any of it until I ghosted my mission myself, or the mission myself. So, whenever there is something that I'm doing in my route that I actually changed after I had watched his recording, I will point that out. But the vast majority of this run are going to include very similar solutions to what he discovered, and I think that's kind of intriguing. That, you know, even though we're both playing Supreme Ghost, there are usually different ways of approaching a map, but it's uncanny how similar our approach is to this style, even in this complicated of a mission. But after watching just 5 minutes of his playthrough, I made a decision to alter my route a little bit based on what he did. He jumped into the canal and went straight down to the palace right away. I didn't do that in my ghost run because I didn't think that would be necessary, but I realized that it was. So after the fact, I saw that that was a lot more efficient for the playthrough. So that is one thing I did change from when I ghosted it to when I've decided to record it now. So we're going to do that right now. Now there is a guard that comes up here right away that we're going to have to wait for to pass. So there's a gate here you can see. There's a lever on the other side. You cannot reach that from this side. Oops. But we're going to go through that gate multiple times actually. Okay. I'm going to go down here and read a couple of things first. This is the market. This is the courthouse and a guard outside. You can't get in there. And this is the main entrance to Beauregard's mansion. You read these first. By the decree of the Lady Azamlarg, Warden of Darksmoke. So she is a warden then, along the lines of Ramirez, for example. Let it be known that the tithe on wool, lead, wax, oil, and leather shall now be 2 coppers for the measure. The tithe on glass, amberglin, and I've tried to look up what this actually is. I don't think this is an actual product in our world, but it could be, you know, obviously based on amber. It could be something that resembles amber, it's just a different name for it in the Thief universe. And white clay shall be 1 good silver. Peddling outside the Darksmoke market shall be treated as theft of her ladyship's own due. By the decree of the Lady Azamlarg, Warden of Darksmoke, let it be known that no man or woman nor any child of outside residence is to set foot on the streets of Darksmoke after the 11th toll and before cock's crow, unless by the lady's personal consent. Those who are in violation of her ladyship's orders shall taste the whip. Well, let's not taste the whip. By not getting caught, that is. By the decree of the Lady Azamlarg, Warden of Darksmoke, let it be known that the trial of the infamous Planth is set for the 2nd toll of Morn's Day on the 10th of Recidivus in the year 832. So, the events of Thief Gold, I believe, take place in 833? Am I wrong there? Or at least after the events in this mission here. The miscreant is to be judged by her ladyship, and thereafter delivered to whichever fate she selects. Afterwards, the honest folk of Darksmoke may approach her ladyship and ask for justice in their miscellaneous squabbles, etc., as it is customary. The beggars of Darksmoke, if in possession of a letter of alms, are permitted to attend, if they ply their ancient trade with the appropriate discretion. Blah blah blah, Lady Azamlarg. Let it be known that her ladyship and her guards are on the lookout for the thief Garrett, formerly known by the false names of Talbot, Messer Johannes, Philby, and no doubt numerous others. I am not aware of these names, Philby and Johannes, so if you are, and know missions where those were implemented, let me know. Garrett is of nondescript appearance, below average in height, and fond of dull grey clothing. He is wanted for the murder of a wealthy patrician in Downlock district, participation in pagan conspiracy, the subversion of public order, and several counts of theft. The Lady Azamlarg offers 400 pieces of gold to whoever would bring her definite proof of this miscreant's demise, or 100 pieces of gold for accurate information on his whereabouts. Let it also be known that whosoever aids or shelters this devious fugitive shall perish like a criminal. Okay. So I am going to drop straight into the canal then, so we can head straight for the palace. Visit a couple of areas in between, but the canal is very useful. But we got to be on the ear out for alerts along the way. Guard over there. I don't think that guard would hear us. Archers are terribly wary in Melan's missions, and especially in this mission. So we have now followed the canal down here, and we are now stationed in this little square, this little pool area, right on the northeast corner of Bailiff Street. So we're pretty close to the palace right now. Head up here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. If the mantle is longer than anticipated, sometimes I grab the rope before I can complete the mantle. It's just because I'm a very impatient man. I guess that's not actually correct, because I wouldn't choose Supreme Ghost if I was impatient. I'm impatient when it comes to mantling. So there is an archer that can patrol the other side here. And we want to be on the lookout for him. Let's see here. That's exactly what we want to do. And there's another archer on the other side. Okay, I want to wait here. And you can't stand still here, that's the annoying thing. This tile is very, very loud. So I just want to make sure that I go as slowly as I can. Maybe you saw an archer right there. That's the one I was worried about. And there's another archer that can patrol this other plaza. Let's wait for him to leave. Okay. This is actually a thief's building, an attic, I believe. You can see it sort of through the windows are transparent. But you can't get up here any other way than through the skylight. And in here there's a couple of interesting things. Let's first get the loot. Wait. Sounded like an alert. I don't understand how we can alert here, but 2 vases right here, total 120. Up here, there's a hand with a ring on it, worth 100, total 220. And in this, there are 2 flash bombs and a mine, and there's also a fire arrow, difficult to see. Right there, and then there is a readable. Letter to a thief. Builder bless thee, old fellow. Nay, I hath not perished, for the builder looks everywhere, but he looketh not among his own, even when they have problems with the fancy talk. In any event, here is something that may interest you. One of the old vipers, when not scheming against everyone else in the cloister, likes to spin wild tales. One is about your present place, or something close by. It seems a servant in a warehouse near the old Hammer Temple had dark designs on his mind. Killed some and hid their corpses. Now it turns out he was found and broken, the warehouse sealed, but his shade lingers in secret passages and broods on sins that cannot be forgiven. Hope you can sleep easier now, eh, Taffer? So we're going to visit the warehouse. There is an abandoned, sealed off area in the warehouse that we can visit. By and by, you are not faint of heart yourself to operate from right under the eyes of Our Lady, who has sent so many of us to the gibbet. Bless her little heart. If you catch her alone outside her palace, don't forget to say hello on behalf of yours truly as well. You know who. So I'm not really sure who this is. Who this is supposed to be from, but it's another thief, obviously. Or it's letter to a thief, it was called. So some kind of contact that gives us information, or it's another thief. I have a hard time getting out of here. We can't have that. We just can't have that. Can't have that either. It's difficult. Sloped surfaces is like the worst you can imagine for a thief. Let's save it here. Can't have that. Let's see. I want to try to avoid that clunk, because this I can't hear the other guards here as easily. Oh. I don't understand why we can't walk up here. Do we have something we can use? No. Sorry that this is giving us trouble so early, but just can't stand this. If they had heard that, then they would have been searching now, or they would have given settling remarks, so they didn't hear that. Okay, good. Good timing. Oops, we can't hit our head here. What is this? We should be able to jump over here and mantle here. Why does... I've done that before. Okay. Close down, we got all the loot in there. We're going to come up here the other side later. I'm going to wait for that archer to come back. Yeah, there he was. I thought maybe he was farther away, but... Wait for him to come back here. So archers are very, very risky, dangerous. Two moss arrows. Okay.
Good board.
Climb up this vine right here. Here we're dark. So now we're actually on top of the fence just east of the palace. This is the palace courtyard or backyard here. And here we're looking down on Bailiff Street. Let's see. I can't see where the archer is here, so we'll have to... There, okay. So I actually found the best way of doing this is to mantle up like this. And then you can drop like that to get down. So we are now in the courtyard, inner courtyard of Lady Azamlarg. There are 2 water arrows in the fountain here. Nothing else of interest right here, at least. There's an open window there, and that's how we're going to enter. I'll just show you a couple of things outside first. So here's a door. There was a body here, a keeper, dead keeper. And this door here... is actually a door that you will gain the key for after you carry the body to the tavern. If you do that assignment, if you will, then you will be able to enter the palace this way. But now we have entered a different way, which avoids us having to do all that. Head up here. Oh yeah, there's one of those infamous archers as well. He has a longer patrol, but he was coincidentally right there. This door here responds to the palace grounds key, which you can find inside. Let's see. And here we have a door that you... I guess you can unlock this also with the palace grounds key, can you? But you can also open it with this lever. There's no lever on the outside, so that's a one-way exit here if you close it behind you. So I'm actually going to open this and leave it like this, so that we can access that a little bit later. Well, you'll see why, hopefully. We're going to enter the palace this way. You can hear her in there. Let's make another real save, and we can hopefully... get up there right now. So that's the lady right inside. Here's a goblet. 3 regular-looking plates and a loaf on the table. Total 325. Just want to do this a little bit quickly. Actually, the palace here is my least favorite place in the mission. And I think that's a little bit anticlimactic. The fact that this is supposed to be the last place you get to in the mission, if you do everything else. But it's fairly simple. That gate there you can't go through. That's the door we saw outside that responds to the palace grounds key, and then there's this octagonal shaped room in here, and there's the vault too. But in New Dark you actually can, I think, mantle over that gate. There's nothing up there. This is the lady right here. Okay, in here we have a pocket watch, gold candlestick, and then this is the palace grounds key then, that we do not need. I want to walk out of her way a little bit. Let's read these two. A report. Most exalted lady, as it was your will, we watched the streets all night, and not a sight of the villain Garrett had crossed our eyes. He walked here not, believe you us. In all, the picking was of no outstanding import. A beggar without a letter, an errant lamplighter crossing to Lampfire Hills, and a tramp who was caught trying to force one of the grates at the falls, but slipped and fell when you hailed him. That was a perplexing one, to have climbed up there without rope and hook. He was dead by the time the boys retrieved his frame, and he has been brought to the yard for your inspection. So that must be the keeper that we saw on the table downstairs. In any case, his form resembles Garrett not, and no distinct mark nor possessions has he. And letter from Jacobus Willen. Your ladyship, on account of your most illustrious patronage, we have attempted that which you asked of us. Queries placed with trustworthy clients in Lampfire Hills and Stone Market have granted us a lead, faint as it is. A young woman of great wealth and apparently aristocratic upbringing is behind the items you speak of. Elemental crystals, narcotic, and stimulative substances, as well as curio beyond our usual assortment, have been mentioned. Our further inquiries were frustrated, as our partners were probably afraid of disclosing a new source of merchandise. Nonetheless, we can confirm your suspicions, although if we might be so bold, we do not suggest a confrontation until further particulars become known. Respectfully at your service, Jacobus Willen, Willen and Associates. I'm not sure who this Jacobus Willen is. I'm not sure if he's been mentioned in other missions here. Let me show you. This is the vault. And you can pick the lock to get in there. She will hear this, and I'm going to reload, so... Very long lockpick, even though you can stand in the shadow and do this. Okay, I just don't want her to catch us. So here is the main objective, the scepter. So that's how easy it is to take it once you get into the courtyard the way we did. Now the problem here is that this door cannot be reclosed. This door is not a bust to leave open. But as it always is with Supreme Mode, if you can avoid opening or unlocking a door that doesn't have to be remained open or remain unlocked, it is definitely in the spirit of that mode to do so. So there is another way to get into this vault besides unlocking this door. This button here just opens it. It doesn't actually do anything to close it afterwards. So if you've watched Marbleman's videos, again, he found or discovered exactly the same thing. And I'm happy that he did, because it shows that we have a similar way of thinking about the Supreme mode. Again, you can get in here this way and be fine. You'll keep Supreme intact. But I don't feel right leaving the building, the main objective gone, and then the door unlocked, and not only that, but wide open. That to me is just... There's been a thief here that has not been careful. It's a careless thief, and I don't want that reputation on me. Maybe I'm reading way too much into the rules here, but that's what it feels like to me. So instead, there is a lever up here that opens a secret passage to a little study, and you can actually get into the study. You can see that there's a hole in the top. Maybe it's on the other corner here. You can get into that study another way. So that's how we're going to get into the vault, and then leave that way and not even touch this door. So that's the task we have right now. So the other way is requiring us to get a certain key. See if I can do this. Sometimes I have trouble dropping. There's a lift here that we have to take down. Yeah, I have a hard time. Guess I think she can hear that. There we go. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna send this back up again. So I noticed now that I forgot to take a couple of spice bags in the garden with the archer outside of the palace grounds. We can easily go up there and get those spice bags later. So my loot count here is going to be off a little bit. So 455 is correct right now. So here is the key, both metaphorically and literally, to deal with this problem. I don't know, but I always found it weird that this key, doesn't the key have a face? To me it looks like almost like a lion's mane with a face in the middle on the key handle. Is that just weird that I'm seeing that, or is... I mean, I don't know. I notice little details like that is odd. Now it looks even more like a face in a cloud. That's what it looks like. Anyway, this is the escape route key. There are 2 copies of that. This is the only one that we need. Of course, we need to replace it by dropping it here, and we can't replace it onto the rack, so we have to put it on the floor. And that escape route key we are going to need. It works on this door, but it also works on the other door that will help us to enter the vault through the alternate way. Now we're actually in the basement of the Old Bell Tavern, and this is the bed where you can drop Issen, the exchanger, and get the key to get into the palace. We're not going to do all that. As I'm doing all this, I realized how identical this almost sound if you've seen Marbleman's video, because the route that I'm taking, at least for now, is very, very similar, if not even identical to what he did. So anyway. Oh. See, this is the Tavern. How did they not hear that? I don't understand. Did he hear the door earlier?
I shouldn't even be here. I should be in a game.
You! Hey, I'm talking to you!
Yeah, this doesn't look good. The fact that he doesn't first alert there makes me think that when he was standing here, he heard the door open. That is what happened. That is exactly what happened. We can't have that. So he's in a constant first alert state, and he will give a settling remark later on. Sorry about that, but that is what happened. The tavern is actually the most difficult place in the mission. And because of that, I'm gonna have my route sort of decided a little bit by that fact. So leaving the tavern, which is what we're going to do next, is tough.
Odd no.
Oh, she heard even that. The only reason I knew what was going on with that thief is because I know that he first alerts. There are some guards that simply don't. Let's make another save here then.
What did I hear?
See? He heard the door there, so that proves even more.
I should be in a game.
So the reason that happens is because any enemy that is hostile, that has a patrol route where he stops at certain intervals. While he is stationary, he doesn't give any first alerts for some weird reason. He does, but he doesn't say any first alert. Let's see.
Over there.
Okay, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Thought
That doesn't work either.
I shouldn't even be here. I should be in a game or something. Hey.
Well, well.
Okay, I thought that maybe we were safe up there at in a certain area. We're safe here?
Hey, over here! Stop right there.
No, we're not.
I shouldn't even be here. I should be in a game or something. You saw it too?
Hey, he's over here!
something else here. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm safe up here, but I'm hoping that I would be able to. Let me make a test save here. So, the bartender here is hostile, the bouncer is hostile, that door there is just another, it's a pickable door down to the basement. Obviously we don't need to use that. Okay, I thought that he would. No credits. And then in here, there's also a deer leg, 2 loaves, and a sausage. Okay, good. There's the archer. He is super wary. Okay, I think I'm good there. Because the swordsman was walking away. Did not get any alerts from anybody in there.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
Give me a shirt.
So there is St. Tenor's statue. That's where you will meet your associate. He'll leave a letter for you and a palace key once you leave Issen in the bed. But we're not going to do that. Leaving the tavern now actually went extraordinarily easily compared to what it can do. We're going to head up here. Okay, I can't do that. There's an archer up above. You know what? I'm just going to wait here. I don't want to risk him seeing me and I'm not hearing about it. So then you have the swordsman coming up too. Okay, so let me explain. I now headed west, and the reason I left the gate open from the courtyard or from the grounds out is because that's where I want to go back in now. I do not want to go back through the tavern. I want to leave that the way it is. We have to go back and return the key, but that we can do from inside the palace easily enough. So we're actually now gonna focus our attention on getting into the palace the alternate way, which is just south of the Mercantile Guild right here. But we can't do that from street level. You have to climb up into the buildings and pass through these to get into the palace the other way. And to do that, we actually have to go all the way back to the beginning of the mission. That's the only place we can get up safely for Supreme and travel down. So we're going to have to now make a big loop again and go back up the canal and then back around to get into the palace. We can't go into the palace the way that we did because that won't access that study behind the vault. That's where we want to go now. So we're going to loot then all the places along the way here so that we have that all done before we get back to the palace. So that's sort of going to be the next loop here, is the northern parts of the mission. I love the fact that the street layout, the streets are also vertical. See the steep hills here are just as vertical as the buildings surrounding it. That you can climb up higher, but there's also a verticality to the actual design of the streets. That is something I see missing in a lot of fan missions. This is a dangerous place because the archer can see us through the windows there too.
Hey! That's it!
Yeah, that's the problem, is we're not safe up here anywhere. Just have to wait here then for the swordsman to come back down. These chains here, obviously we've seen those in missions like Endless Rain or a few other recent missions, I think. But I think Melan was the first ones to use those. And I believe this was the first mission. At least this is the oldest mission I've seen those chains in. It kind of doesn't look all thief-like. But anyway, now the archer comes back. The archers in general walk faster than swordsmen. So we're going to have to wait for him too now. I'm not going to take any risks with this guy. This mission is so good and so fun to play that I don't mind just sitting waiting. Take in the ambiance a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm just extra excited to play this mission today. I'm excited to play any mission and make videos for you guys, but there's something special about this one. The fact that I waited, and I hadn't played this up until a month ago. 3-4 weeks ago is when I played it. And then we have the other archer too. The fact that I waited from 2009 till 2021 to play this is almost a disgrace. Almost. It's not a disgrace, but it's almost a disgrace. I don't know. I don't want to take any chances with these archers. Okay, so up here is where we need to go. There's the entrance to the palace. There's no way to get up here, though. So we have to take a long, long route. There is a guard that comes down here. Yeah, there's the other archer. Speak of the sun and it shines. I don't think he comes down here, though. So we are now in this underpass right here. And we're going to actually head up and loot some of the establishments in the market. We can't actually go to the market because of that guy outside the courthouse. He will catch us. But there's nothing of interest in the actual market. There's a couple of establishments and stores just south of it. And that's where we're going to head next.
And the people up above me get all the light and get all the fairs, and I don't have another thing to eat in days.
Okay, I just wanted to come here because we're safe here. There are a total of 4 stores here. Oops. This isn't an archer, so yeah. I can't lean right now because I'm not fully on a surface. There's a stonemason or a stone cutter down towards the south. Here you have the produce store. Here is a butcher store or a grocery store, and then there's an astrologer up to the north. The only one that we have to pick open is the stonemason. But I'm going to wait right here for the merchant that is patrolling, because he'll come back and unlock the produce store for us. I guess it's the produce store owner. This is the guy. So we can actually block his door. He goes down there first, and then he comes up here, I think. So more waiting. I don't think he visits every single store. There, let's wait for him to leave again. He doesn't detect the door being open, believe it or not.
I don't like this place at all.
So there's one piece of loot in here that we are going to take. There's also 2 fruits, 3 cabbages, 4 cucumbers, 2 carrots, and 2 apples. And the piece of loot here is very, very difficult to find. It's back here. Spice bag. This was actually a piece of loot I didn't find on my own. Needed a little bit of help to find it. Can save it here. It's a back room. There's 2 fruits back here. Nothing else of interest. Just useless food. Okay. So this door is the only one of these 4 that we have to pick open. There we go. Okay. So in here, just a bunch of statues and equipment for cutting stone. There's a back area, the staircase. More statues. And then these are statues worth something. 5 of them, $5.95. That's correct. And then there are 2 readables here. City Tribune, a newspaper. City Tribune, 1011. So I assume this is the European version of writing dates, where the date comes first. So then this would be November 10th. I might have done it differently in other missions because, although I was brought up in Europe and was used to the, day, month, year, in America, where I currently reside, they do month, day, year. Who knows why? I've always thought that, you start with the shortest time, which is the day, and then go to month, and then go to year. But no, Americans have to have it the other way around. So I assume then with the European that this is November 10th. 832. Mystery burglar just a legend, solicitor says. Reports of the mysterious criminal supposedly stalking the wealthy households of the city have resurfaced after a Mr. Heinz Stato brought charges to a trial over insurance payments. His allegations, which provoked uproarious laughter among members of the jury, drew attention to damages of a very unusual nature. In truth, the culprit not only carried off the dinnerware and several valuables from my collection, including a priceless clear silver statue won in the Southern Wars by my dear late Uncle Rufus, but a veritable cartload of comestibles as well. It is not in my character to burden the honorable jury with such trivial nuisances, but the shameless conduct of the accused party makes it an imperative, as a lawful proprietor as well as a gentleman. We are experiencing indeed a theft epidemic of epic proportions, and I do not just mean the burglary. The Honorable Seamus A. Blatt, a noted barrister involved in the case on the side of the defendants, was quoted by the Tribune, "In no case during my practice have I been witness to similar extraordinary crimes. The common thief, in fact, is a creature of cowardice and habitual shiftiness, a debased and lowly being. To assume that after risking life and limb in taking lawful property, a criminal would linger to lift victuals from us. To put it simply, fantastic beyond my wildest fancies. Pray tell, where did this extraordinary burglar carry such foodstuffs? In his pockets? Or barring that, does the good Mr. Heinz Stato propose that the culprit in fact consumed 5 heads of cabbage, 6 deer legs, a few pairs of sausages, apples, and a generous supply of carrots? Even an entire expedition of the boldest riffraff would not have such ravenous appetite, and as someone who has observed the lowest sort of street detritus from my window, would put little credence in a nursery tale of similar character. Rumpleball, Stone Market, Wayside 40. Downlock, Dayport 11. Newmarket, Merkbell, cancelled by Cardinal's Interdict. I love the way Melan writes readables. There's just so much thought and so much good vocabulary in it that it seems believable. And different types of readables have they sound different. It doesn't sound like it comes from the same person. And maybe he had help from, other people writing things or making readables for him. Of course, that's possible. They're all well put together, that's what I'm trying to say. A complaint. Furthermore, and coinciding with these infractions, when I looked through the window of your shop to see if you have indeed ceased your intolerable hammering for the day, I spied a lewd and, I am sure, illegally produced image with, I note, a completely bare nipple. This outrageous conduct is in fact not only beyond the accepted standards of public decency, but also a vile assault against my sensibilities. Why, to consider that this filth would stand in the shop that is very next to mine, and might, to add insult to injury, bother my valued customers. In fact, the question of indemnification, and lest you are too drunk again to understand this, it means money, will have to be... Okay. There we go. So I assume that was the produce store owner that wrote that complaint, since the store was right next to his. Okay, so up here, this footlocker you can't open. It's just a couple of boxes with stuff that you can't carry. Back here is a loose brick. Now, this is something I learned from Marble Man, that you can actually take the key now through this wall and leave the rubble intact. But I agree with his assessment that would be against Supreme to do, because this is sealed here. It's not like there's any opening or any conceivable room for Garrett to put his hand through. So I'm going to move the brick. I thought maybe he would hear that. And grab an alchemist key that was right next to the hand of a skeleton that you can see in there. So I think this is ingenious design here. You make a room with nothing to pick up on the top floor, and that forces a player to look a little bit extra, to look for something out of the ordinary. And the fact that you have probably tried to find a way into the alchemist store before, which is locked and not pickable, here you can then find the key. You look for something out of the ordinary, you find it, and you get a reward for it. It makes you feel like a good thief. Okay, we don't need to go into this door, but I'm going to pick it open because I think there's a readable in there, if I remember correctly. Yes, that's right. There's some deer legs and sausages and stuff in here. A Burrick's head in a pool of blood. A complaint, again. And it is an outrage that the stench in your shop, and don't you deny it, that dreadful stink of spoiled meat must come from your filthy Burricks, is driving away the clients I have spent so much of my valuable time and effort to gather. You with the meat and the no-good drunkard to my right, with the infernal noise, and it is a wonder I am still in business. You both should take a lesson from that alchemist. Now he doesn't make a noise or assault my nostrils with vile odors. Get this fixed, or I will go not to you, but the courthouse, and I mean it. So, I have a feeling that it is the produce store owner that is the problem here. More so than everybody else. I don't think it would matter who was next to him. He would complain on him in some way. Okay. So we're not going to pick the lock And that door. We're going to head into the alchemist with the key that we got. Actually, we're going to do that. Lock block it. Wait for hardcover. Save, because we're going to leave that key upstairs. Nothing really of interest down here. And here is the corpse, or the remains that we saw through the brick. The only thing of interest really for us up here is this gold skull, worth 150. Total 745. On the table over there, there's a tiny healing potion and a tiny speed potion. The breath potion and the speed potion on the floor, empty vials only. So it seems like this alchemist had an unfortunate incident, or took his own life, because it seems like he's been drinking a lot of things here. There's another healing potion vial and a breath potion vial on the floor. So he might have committed suicide. There's nothing that indicates either here. So we can leave his key there. And head back down. Okay. Okay, here we're safe. Nobody comes in here. Okay, so let me show you. What's the sensitive fellow pass? This is the market then. So here you have the guard. So the reason why you have to loot these places from the south is because if you try to pass here...
What do I see there?
he will give a first alert. For Ghost, he won't. You're fine. You can get through this area for Ghost, but you cannot get through this area for Supreme. So that's why we're forced, basically, to come from the south here, and why we can't then travel up. Well, can we? I'm not going to do this, but I don't believe there's anywhere to attach a rope up here. I don't think so. I think we're forced to go the route that I'm going to go right now. So yeah, now we're going to head back to Bailiff Street, and we're going to now go back up the canal, and then find our way back to the beginning of the mission so that we can loot our way down here. And we've gone through a little bit of a tricky area here, so the rest should hopefully not be too bad. Bailiff Street is tough, but once we get to the canal, we should be fine. Oh. There's the archer. Doesn't see us here. That's pretty good timing, actually. So that gate right there is the intended way into the courtyard. We could have taken the spice bags. So come to think of it, since I forgot those spice bags and I want to be up to speed with my list, I'm going to go back and take those bags right now. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to take anything else though, I'm just going to take those. Should have taken those earlier, but now at least we can fix that. Let's see here. So now I'm supposed to head north here, but I'm gonna... Oh, no, I don't want to risk that. If that archer came there, I'm gonna wait for him to go. That we can't have either. We're going to wait 5 seconds here. Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm a little bit used to the Thief 1. Way of jumping, I guess. No, can't do that. Yeah, okay. This is one of my favorite places in the mission, right here. The fact that you can move from ledge to ledge, balcony to balcony, through windows. And there's still a non-linear approach to this. You can take alternate ways to get through the area around the canal. Here. 2 spice bags, worth 80, total 825. And then we are... Not sure what that movement was about. Definitely didn't see me because I was pitch black. So down those stairs is that gate that is pickable that I talked about. Wait for him to come back here. Can we not be safe here? There we can be safe. This is what's dangerous. When you are far away from archers and you are lit up, they can see farther than you can hear them. So they can give first alerts without you being sure, without you hearing it necessarily. Actually going to go through this building right here now. Yeah. I thought that would be a problem. Should be safe here as long as that archer doesn't show up. She did not. And we can't be spotted there either. So here we should be good. Alright, so let me just look at where we're going now. So 825, that's how much we should have. So we're now stationed right here. In the corner here, these are falls that we fell down earlier. So to our east now is Belcanzer's Wall. And to the west of that, Eventras Estate. So that's just north of us. We're going to go through. And southeast is Brogia's Estate. And there's a couple of unnamed buildings right here to our east. There's a jar there, I know. I'll take that later. I just want to be on track in terms of my progress here. Just to make sure that I don't skip anything, I keep track of how much loot I'm supposed to have. So here's a building. This is Eventras Estate. Here's a building that we can go into. I don't think we can get detected in here, I'm not sure, but... Oh. You can take this vase right here. Let's see. Pretty sure that we can reach. Don't think anyone can hear us here. We're pretty far away from the City Wash is the closest, but I don't think anyone there can hear us. So 925. That's where we should be at. And we are. We are. So in here, there's nobody. There's only 2 rooms. Here's a scented letter. Beloved sister, in time do the wounds heal and the ill feelings depart. I know you have reason to find me repellent for my past actions, but we are still of one blood. And now have I for you good news, maybe the best news. With the fall, my flowers have flowered as never before, and now I know whose arrival they herald. It is her, returned to our bare and cursed lands, to take her own and fill them with mirth and plenty. Look you towards your tasks, for the time foretold is upon us. Marcella. This is probably the most cryptic letter in the whole mission. It doesn't seem like these 2 individuals, Marcella and her sister, have any relevancy to any other story or storyline in this mission. It may be that they are meddling in some kind of pagan rituals or something like that, with flowers and some her returning, something like that. I'm not sure. It certainly is strange. If Melan is watching or listening, then maybe he can shed some light on it. I'm not sure. Here we've got 2 plates and 2 goblets, total 1045. And there's another readable here. Letter to Lord Bafford. Dear Lord Bafford, most endearing that you have written me, it must be a rare condition indeed that has afflicted you. There are but a few small issues I wish to clear, which I believe to deserve your most illustrious attention. First, to talk of our encounter as foreordained is perhaps a trifle too melodramatic. As my maid tells me, you are rumored to be a constant presence in the pubs and bordellos of the lower districts, and indeed, as the way from those haunts to your home leads right under my windows, it might be that we saw each other by pure chance. Some additional remarks. The flowers that I have grown in your garden under the pale moonlight, I note, are available in identical form on the market for 2 coppers, so there's indeed no need to bother. Regarding your fiery burning for me, I hear this fire has singed many before, and as for the heavenly, has singed many before. As for the heavenly quiet descending upon you when you saw me, you could have at least managed to stammer in lieu of leering most fixedly at my bosom. Nay, Lord Bafford, I see your intentions, and have no wish whatsoever to oblige them. Yours, Lady Elise, or Elisa, Eventra. Eventrois? Guess it's French sounding. So Bafford is a naughty one. This is the city watch. I just want to make sure that I don't get caught here. These chains are cool because you can walk on the side of them without making any noise. Oh. Okay. So we're now coming from the east side of the watch station. If you come from the west side, you can't enter the watch station for Supreme. You can for Ghost, but not for Supreme. You take it first alert. I'll show you that. So it's beneficial, or required for us to actually come from this side. Let's read a guard's message first. Jarko. I've gotten word that DeWall's legbreakers are once more encroaching on lower Darksmoke. Might be just rumors, but one thing is sure. The lady will not tolerate a low-reach incursion into Darksmoke, now or ever, and it is our promotion on the line. I will have my men watch the poorhouse and the small dive near the gallows for the time being. You should ask around the shops and houses upsides if there has been anything out of the ordinary. So that explains why there are more guards on Widow's Way than anywhere else. Because of this condition here. There's also that guy, Gregory, guarding the warehouses by Locksman Gate. He might have seen something from his overlook. Nothing better to do than watch the canal anyhow. It's better if you talk to him. He seems to resent me for some reason. But he's been weird ever since he's been out of the force, so who knows. All old comrades fade away and become strangers. That's our lot. So, the Gregory guy... by Locksman Gate. I'm not sure if that is the guy in the warehouse. If so, then there might be a reason why he's a little bit on edge. Or there might be proof of him actually being kind of weird. I'll show you that too later on. Let's see.
What's that? Who goes?
So there is an archer here. Let's head up here. Well-hidden purse here. Worth 25, total 1070. And then there's another purse we're going to get from, not from this guy, but from another guard further up. I think we're totally safe here, so.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
My overshoes, where did I...
I don't like this place at all.
Okay. So that was the other purse, the other loot item that we needed. So that's 1095. I'm going to show you a couple of other things here. Let me actually blackjack this archer.
now.
Yeah. Actually. Here is the stationary swordsman. And the front door guard, obviously, or no, front door, you obviously can't go out because it's right in the path of that stationary guard.
Who's noising about then?
Over there. Must have been rats.
Okay. So, this vent here you can take in, and you can rush through and get a first alert from that guy for Ghost, but for Supreme...
Something there. Nothing there now. Over there.
See here, this is the sweet spot.
Oh well. Must have been nothing. Hey, what was that?
I've tried to do that 100 times and it doesn't work.
Rats.
So you always get a first alert. In this you actually find, is it 2 rope arrows? 1 or 2 rope arrows. And then this actually takes you to the street just north of the market. Right here. This is the market with the readables that we read earlier. But you can't go through here because of that vent and that first alert. So that is a no-no for passage for Supreme. Ghost has it easy because it doesn't care about first alert, but we do. We do. So let me see. I have 1095. Yeah. So now okay. This is the way to get up here. Now we're safe. Good. So we have now headed north of Eventross Estate up here. And we're now coming to an area that actually isn't marked on the map, this area in here. And there's a plaza back here, or back plaza, back alley. So we can move up here. Come to a building, some kind of workstation building that has absolutely nothing to pick up or do. For some reason I have a strange liking to these types of buildings. Buildings that have just a lot of junk laying around, detail, but nothing to pick up, nothing to read, nothing to do. It's just a building that you travel through to take you from A to B. These don't operate, they're not functional. And then here, this will take you to the canal again. That'll actually meet the part where we came out. We didn't actually use this earlier. You can actually swim up here and then mantle up here. It's very difficult because the current will force you down, but if you walk along the bottom and then come quickly up to a mantle here, you can get up this way, but the way I took obviously is much easier. This door we have to pick open. That takes us to the alley right east of Trundle Street, where we started. So that's the gate we saw, right, after we started the mission. There's one other door here that's interesting, and that we have to pick open too. You guys know that I always try to limit locks that I pick. So if I pick something, it's necessary for Supreme to get loot or objectives. Alright, so there's something up here, but I'm gonna... There's 2 moss arrows here, by the way. Here is a building with boxes and a huge box. More boxes. Another huge box. And some interesting stuff, I guess. A diary. The fools! They thought they could just ignore me, ignore the coming of the future. How blind they are, like sheep. To think they do not realize how my crates could change their lives. A crate in every house, in every room. But as sheep, they are not just blind, they are soft. Ha-ha. I visited Provost Storno to talk reason to him, but he refused to listen. He wanted to call someone to restrain me. What a fool. To think he could just silence progress? His money was mine, and I could use it all to further my craft. I also got myself a sword and a few other tools to gain more funding. Now they acquiesced, all of them I visited, one way or another. And with that, there are now 2 beauties in this apartment. They are safe here. Now that the new crate is finished, and there are also so many small ones, it is time for a new, an even greater endeavor. Oh yeah, a new beginning. So this is obviously the box maker that was... whose place was also found in Bad Debts, a different place of course, and referenced in Into the Odd. So, a funny storyline. Here's a hidden lever. Stack of gold coins, silver coins, and a ring. Total $11.95. There we go. There's nothing up here but more crates. I don't know, this is a weird picture. I mean, obviously it looks very different from anything else. Obviously not a stock painting, but or drawing. It's more like a stick drawing than a stock drawing. Okay, so here, actually, we can use a rope to get up here. There. Let me just, how much do we have? $11.95. Yes. So up here. Can we mantle up here? Yeah, we can. Is from, assuming, based on the music, a keeper hallway, hidden keeper hallway. A goblet worth 15, and then a bottle that looks like a junk bottle, because junk bottles are green. But this is, I guess, an extremely valuable bottle of wine. Total $12.60. That's all there is up here. This hallway reminds me of the hallway in the far south of Endless Rain, which is also a sort of a little enclosed hallway high up with some loot and on a windowsill. I'm not sure if anyone else had that association, but I surely did. There, and then I think you can drop onto the wonderful vines here. Melan loves his climbable vines. Okay. So we should be good now to start on our pathway down south again. So when I first ghosted the mission, like after I had just played it one time through without ghosting, my first ghost playthrough, I started doing what I'm doing now, which is get up to the buildings right away and move through and get to the palace. Of course, I couldn't get into the palace that way, but that's what we're going to do now because we have the escape route key and we can get into the palace. Alright, I'm going to close this, even though we are coming back this way. I just want to be complete here. Here's our swordsman. Let's wait for him. So, hopefully you guys liked my Dark Mod mission, a new job. Very easy, obviously, compared to some missions we're going to play. The next mission is going to be Tears of St. Lucia, mission 2 in the Dark Mod, and that's the last official mission. What is this guy doing? Okay. I do have other Dark Mod missions planned. There's a lot of them, and I've really gotten into it now, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we maybe could have gone there, but I didn't want to risk it. So we're going back to the Dark Mod, and then after the Dark Mod we are continuing with Thief. And we are going to play The Sound of a Burrick in a Room by Skaki again. So we've gone back and forth between Melan and Skaki here. So that's going to be our next mission. And after that I actually haven't decided. So I promised I would give you guys an update for the next Dark Mod mission and the next Thief mission. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see. So we are going to head up here. Because we can get 3 coins from this area. No! That was bad timing. That's annoying. Okay. Fortunately, there isn't too much to redo. When I got caught, the fact that it was by an archer wasn't very surprising. Doesn't make it any less annoying, though. I have decided, and I did that when I started the channel, that if I mess up, you guys will get to see the mess up, and you'll get to see the redos and all that stuff. That's part of Supreme Ghosting. And it's YouTube after all. You guys can skip it if you want to. Let's hope that the swordsman is maybe on his way back now instead of on his way up here. Okay, at least we can save a little bit of time here. Let's save it here, shall we? That guy's facing the other way. Yeah, so there he is. Let's wait for him to leave. A little bit early. Didn't expect to have to save here, of all places, but... through like that without pushing that vase around. So we are now in Beaurigard's estate, or at least in an attic on the east side of that estate. So it's only accessible via a secret panel that you can see here, but I assume it's a part of that building still. So the other window here can then take you across to the City Watch police or City Watch guard station here. Okay. Let's see here. This one is pickable. And let us see what treasure hides in there. A hand mirror. What I've always wanted. Second thought, let's not. Here's the panel. Sneak through. There is a lever on the other side, but I just wanted to do that. It's a room with nothing, just a lot of junk and debris. I always thought there was a hidden rug in here, but there's not. So this is Beaurigard's. So let me see here. Here's a copy of the Beaurigard estate key, which we do not need. There's only one patroller, and that's on the top floor here. A cobwebbed library. Hammerite Compendium of Precepts, Regiments, and Rules of Conduct, Volume 13. The Ways of Sin and How the Righteous Should Combat It. Vigilance is Thy Shield, or the Compendium of Righteousness. And then Volume 7 of the Compendium. Somebody's sleeping in here. This is the Lady Beaurigard, I assume. Gold goblet in here worth 25, total 1,300. A bedroll, how wonderful. Or was it a bedroll? Something else maybe. Here's a little chapel. The book. And then, turning his attention on the third question, he said, "In truth, the treasures are a metaphor. Gold and jewels are not given to thee by the builder, although neither does he shun them if they be acquired by honest pursuits. The treasures of the builder are the spiritual foundations of thy work. Father Dennis contemplated what was said, and at last responded, If such treasures are in our grasp, what could assail this foundation? Let us, my brothers, build a great cathedral in the builder's measures and fair materials, to stand testament to man's ingenuity in his ascent from the deceptions of the trickster. One of the brothers, the youngest of the initiates, however, warned, Let us not begin this work, for I see a forest of hardship before us, and that forest's twists and pitfalls are legion. But Father Dennis rose again, saying, In truth, such may be, but for every tree there is an axe, and for every doubter just punishment. Then was the brother carried away to the courtyard, where the weight of a staff was set on his back 30-fold. And the other brothers raised stone on stone, with good mortar and sturdy hammer, and the great cathedral of the order was built. And the doubting brother, who carried the stones for his brethren, at last said, Such was my folly when I was young, but where am I to go now that the work is finished, and I am old and grey? And his brothers said, Thou shalt go before our builder as all men do. The Father has set a harsh task for thee, but in secret did he say to us that by the measure of thine atonement virtue was born. And then they buried his frame in righteous vestments, and he became the first saint of the order. Okay. So, if we head down here, we only get to the foyer. So this would be openable with the estate key. Here is a bedroom that is completely cobwebbed up. Doesn't look like it's been used for a while. So on the top floor you have Mr. Beauregard himself. And he is patrolling. He carries a lantern. And let me just show you something. There's one more piece of loot up here. But we can't take it for Supreme. I always thought there was something behind this door because there's this noise here, or tune, that is specifically coming from there. This hallway here has a window that we're going to leave through, but it has a door that is pickable. A very long pick at that. There we go. In here is a torque worth 250. You can avoid getting shot here, but there are let's see. If you want to take this for Ghost, you can, but you have to close the door, otherwise he hears the traps. And it's worth 250, and we have to skip that for Supreme. It's against all, Supreme to just trigger a trap, whether you get hit by it or not, or alert anybody. Triggering the trap in itself is not allowed, so we have to skip that. So the only reason we came up here really is to go through the building. There's a piece of loot outside that we want to take. Here, Korean vase, worth 50, total 1350. So over here is the City Watch, so we've jumped across the market now. Remember we were down there earlier. Okay. So here we can head into... This is the Mercantile Guild, or Mercantile Guild, sort of a guild for commerce and trade. So we are now going to jump across here from the courthouse. And we want to go through the window. You can go up to this building here, which is empty.
Shadow.
I thought he was leaving, but he just came. Yeah. You can hear there's another patroller up there.
Huh? Straight.
Two. Oh, I thought that wine bottle was worth something. It is not. Vase. 2 goblets. Another vase here, total 1480. And this guy should station himself there. We can actually mantle up the door. And then further up here. This torque you can take. Then you can head through this direction and take 2 other torques that are hanging from these 2 statues here. Total 1570. The point in New Dark, you can mantle up the door like I did, but you can't do that in Old Dark. So then you're supposed to go through here. If you do, you come out on the change that I showed you.
Damn it! How'd you? Ah! I'll see your butt.
So that's a lot more risky and not something I want to do. Now you can just drop onto the door itself and then head through here. There's nothing else here, but now we are above the plaza that is just north of the clock tower, right here. I guess technically we're here now, in this corner. So, let's see here. Let's go over here first. So now we're actually just west of the palace. This is the palace right here, and we have the door that unlocks to the escape route key. So now we can actually enter the palace this way. Here we go. And here is the secret that takes us into the vault. And we can get the scepter without ever having to touch that door. That's the most supreme way of doing it. Again, it's not a bust if you want to open that door and leave it open and leave it unlocked, but it doesn't feel right to me. In here you have a gas arrow. You have another copy of the escape route key, which we do not need. You have a blackjack that you can take. You have a tiara, total 1695. And you have what looks like to be a light gem, total 1715. You can take the other items here. Now, something that Marbleman pointed out in his video that I did not know is the fact that these items here originally probably were meant to have been stolen from Garrett, which means that you would start the mission without a compass, which is why it had the title Disorientation. I did not know that, so I really appreciated that piece of info from him. Since we have a compass, he changed that at some point, but the title remained then. So this could be from the Keeper that was found, because his body was in the palace courtyard. Since there's lockpicks and a blackjack too, that might seem likely, but I don't think that's confirmed. Let's read a cryptic note. Confirmation of previous query. Definite breach at Keywell Tertiary. Dispersal of counter-influences, possible breach on Rainwright. Definite breach at various non-operated depositories and through work all over. Obvious relation to case of tea and supposed pagan conspiracy, but can be traced back outside to G's activities. Suggested actions, keep low profile and direct action for time being. Use decisive force through secondaries against G. Thereafter, common operation in lower locks may proceed to recover of golden books, and following diversionary action against unlawful elements. Verify through IW and avoid caches for time being. This must not fall into wrong hands. Tanster. So G is probably Garrett here. IW, I assume, is Jacobius Willen, who wrote the other letter that we found in the room outside the vault. I do not know who T is. I don't know. I was thinking maybe it would be Talbot at one point, but I think everybody knows that Talbot is Garrett. But if they haven't figured that out, then they might think that there are two different people. And Golden Books, I think, is a reference to the missions called the Golden Book. I think it's a campaign. I haven't played it, but maybe that's one of Melan's favorite fan missions or something like that. There. We don't need anything here, but now, of course, we have to leave the way we came in. Now we avoided that hole just to not leave a door open. How about that? This is the clock tower. I think you need to use almost a rope here. And then at the very top there is a nest with 5 diamonds. Those are worth 110 total, 1825. Let's see, yeah. We have one more item before we head back to the streets here. Sure, I didn't want the archer to be around. That's good. Okay. Up here, there's a flash bomb in this one. You can climb up the vines. That's always fun. And in this window, there is a harp. Actually worth loot. 1925. Now, I have been able to drop onto this lamp post without taking damage. But I think we have to... we can't drop between the wall and the light. There we go. Okay, let's hope that archer doesn't come here now. I think we're good there. Awesome. Time for a real save. So we're pretty good here. Let's see. Actually... That was a bad hit. Up here. And this is some kind of party roof. 3 stacks of silver coins, 2 stacks of copper coins, total 1975 here. And then there is a readable, a wine-stained scroll. In honor of the Lady Azamlarg and her most salubrious wines, which the most honorable Benjamin saw fit to provide for this very purpose, we hereby establish the Society of the Tower and the Bell, as of the year 832, month Recidivus, day the 3rd, on this pleasant terrace above the teeming streets of our lovely city. May whoever hold rank in this hallowed cater carry himself with pride and distinction, protect the honor of Our Lady even in the face of adversity, and drink of the essence as it is appropriate for a gentleman of elevated station. Absolute secrecy is hereby sworn to confound the knaves and villains who would bring us harm. Of this we swear, the most honorable Delbin's Grandmaster of the Chiming Bell, the most honorable Mongrave, Knight of Viands and Essences, the most honorable Benjamin, Exalted Guardian, the most honorable Tortoise, he of the Mop and Pail, the most honorable Gradbolt, Furnace Feeder, and Lord Transportator. So, or penned by the most honorable Tortoise on behalf of the society. So this seems to be just a group of workmen around town. You know, you have janitors and caretakers here that come together on a roof and drink and have fun and create a little society for themselves. By the way, the word knaves is not really used in English too much anymore. For those of you that don't know, it's just another name for a jack, really. In a deck of cards, the jack can also be called the knave. And I guess it's sort of a slightly derogatory term for somebody who's unscrupulous or not trustworthy or lower class citizen or whatever you want to call it. One of those words that have disappeared from the English vocabulary for most, myself included. Okay. Walk along this area here. Goblet and a bottle of wine. What was I seeing there? The swordsman can't see me because it's too high up. Total 2040. I would probably want to wait until the archers on our way back. Sounds like the other archer too is here. A dangerous save here, but you can drop. No, you can't drop like that. You can drop into a mantle. Like that. And drop down here fully. It's the best way of doing it. Here's a body. And a diary. Soon after the golden glow of my happiness did envelop my heart, and foolhardy hopes cloud the vision once impeccable, did I lose all that was worth having. How is it then that joy is but a fleeting glimpse, soon borne away on the wings of disaster? How is it that hopes flee before dark feathers, the bitter omen of things to come? Yet never did I think the glittering treasures would vanish in the thin air, as surely as he who was to be mine did depart with another. Fate's cruel caress it is, and yet a final deed is now to be done. Closure to this existence of unfulfillment. Now do I cast this unhappy journal out of my window, and with it a worthless life. A last sip of the wines I enjoyed so will aid me to sweeten the final downfall. That is sad. See, I'm not sure where that archer is. Here are some broadhead arrows. We're not safe in here, I know. We safe in here? Let's see. There was a quiver of broadheads there. I think there's 10 or 25 in it. So there is one archer that patrols this area up here.
What day?
Yeah. Probably walk across here, actually. I want to head over this pipe. Actually. No, I can't do that because there's archers down there and everything. I did that in my practice run, but I didn't think it would be reliable and really possible. So I want to return to the palace this way because then I don't have to worry about getting back into the tavern. Getting back in is almost more difficult than getting out. So here you can move along the side. Of the pipe. Up here there's nothing except for an access to the balcony that I tried to jump over earlier. Whoa. Whoa, my mouse messed up again. Apologize for that. Yeah, that archer was way too far away there. But he could have seen me when I leaned around. I'm gonna just do this one more time to be sure. I know he's way too far away to see me there. There's limits even for those archers how far they can see. All right. So now you guys see why I left that side gate open.
And when are they going to bring me my dinner? That's what I want to know. When are they going to bring me my dinner?
Here, and we're going to head out this way too. Wait. No, she stops right as that arrow hits. If she stops at the end of her patrol, she's not going to give first alert, so she might actually get alerted there. I had her get alerted once before from the rope, my playtesting. Okay, so we're going to leave the escape route key on here. That's the nearest logical place. Did it hang in the middle? More in the middle? Something like that? There, that's good enough. She hears pretty well, but not infinitely. So just imagine the look of the lady's face when she opens the vault the next time, and the scepter's gone, the loot is gone in there. But it's still locked.
Something there?
And the door's closed, huh?
Say again?
here, best way I found is to mantle the statue. I did it on my first, that's pretty good. And then we gotta be on the lookout for the archer. No, yeah. And then you can just close this. Let's see. 2105, that's perfect. So now we can drop here. Can we? No, we can't. We can drop here. Oh! Let's see. We should be able to drop. Actually, let's use a rope arrow. That's the easiest thing to do here. Okay, not exactly the way I planned, but it works. Okay, we gotta watch it because there's an archer coming here too. There, so now we are done basically with the whole northern part of the map, except for just a small area in the southeast. The southern parts of the map we have left to do. We are now going to go through the old steel mill and the warehouse, and our main goal is to go down here to a shop and get a key that we're going to need in actually the location where the keeper was residing, in a sewer station in here. So it's a little bit fiddly to get to that sewer station in the way that I want to anyway, by picking as few locks as possible. So we have to go in through this door right now. I want to avoid walking in the streets as much as I can here. So that's my goal right now. I'm good here. Okay, so this is then the old steel mill, or power station to the steel mill that we have entered right now. Can't operate this, but can put it here. No, this is a power station. This isn't the steel mill. Oh. A little pipe here. This should be the old steel mill we're in right now. Right? Yeah. So first we are going to drop down here. So this is this the warehouse? I can't really tell. This looks like a steel mill to me. But then you have boxes and there's a warehouse there. So maybe there's warehouses attached to the steel mill, I'm not sure. Here's a guard. The guard is guarding one piece of loot that we need. First, pick the lock on this and show you this. Here's a corpse. A hammer. A Hammerite priest, it looks like, isn't it? Hammerite priest. Body in a crate. Yikes. Alright. Here's a hammer, and an apple, and a readable. Hammers was worth 75. Gregory, I will send a skiff just below your place tomorrow to move the special cargo. Until then, stay put for your sake, and for my sake as well. This is way too big, completely over our heads. You know what they do to anyone who does this? Azamlarg's gallows or Cragscleft would be nothing in comparison. We just didn't think it through, and they will be all over it in a few days. Just act natural, and for heaven's sake, don't drop a hint of what we did. So probably somebody killed a Hammerite priest without, you know, being a fit of rage or not thinking about what they were doing here. By accident, and they are in deep trouble. You can't get in through that door right there. There is another place you can get into. There's an archer. I'm happy that we didn't get spotted by him. Hide back here. So this is a route that I'm not going to end up taking. It's a route that you can take to go north. The problem is that you have to remove this plate, and this plate cannot be put back. You don't have to for Supreme, you can put it like this, but you can't place it back the way that it was. And I even have a hard time dropping this thing. See, now I can't drop it. So you can go through and get to this room another way. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do that now. Okay, he's going that way. There's an open window, you can't get through there. Just gonna go in here and show you guys a readable. This door is pickable, that goes to the poorhouses. We don't need to pick that, there's no loot in here, there's only this, so I'm gonna read it. Crumpled up letter. Darcy says, they dragged the lad to Lowreach despite his protestations, and nobody dared even look at him. May say what you will, but anything the lady does to clean up dark smoke, she can't clean at all. How could she know the city from that fancy place? And if she looked too long at the wall look right back, and then she will be dragged to Lowreach all the same. You are a good Cadge, and I know you don't like to beg and steal and stay in this place. But believe me, you have a better lot than the poor wretches in the hollow pits, the ones who don't pay up. I saw a man steal away from the stone entrance one day, and they caught him right in the next street. He was whimpering when they dragged him back. One blackleg caught him by the neck and slammed his head against the grate just because he could. Never saw that one again. So I say, not a word, or they will break you like they broke the boy. That's just how it is in this place. A lot of readables about the crime going on in the city. But the readables are done through observations from other people, regular citizens. So now we have come out of the warehouses, so we're right above the canal here. And we are now staring east towards Widow's Way. I'm going to save it here. And I'm going to try to mantle up the edge of the canal. We can't do that. It's an insane jump, but... Okay, we might not be able to do that. I did it, but I did it further over here. That's 2. Okay. That was very close. Didn't mean to jump there, so. There we go. Good, that's how we do it. Just, I don't want to jump into the canal because it makes a lot of noise. You can do that without getting alerted, but it's very difficult to hear the alert. So we are going to head into what's called Gil's place, which is this. So we're now in the Poorhouse Plaza down in the southeast.
People up above me get all the light and get all
We have to pick the lock on the door to Gil's place right here. Alright, so in here we have a readable. Scrap of paper. Hey Gil, look what I found in the canal. There was some commotion up the stream and the watchdogs fished out a dead old Taffer who got swept down the gate and was too deep in the drink by the time they got him out. This old key fell out of his clothes when they took the corpse. We should ask around, discreet, who it was and where it was living. Might make a few coins with this old thing. Also, you Taffer, I told you not to leave your cash box out on the table just like that. That's practically an invitation for any lock break on the prowl. And then you can run to the watch with that. Only reason I'm not doing it myself is I am too nice for this city. Okay. There. So this is called the tarnished key. That is what was picked up then from the keeper's body that they dragged out of the canal. They don't know it's from a keeper, but I do. And that we're going to need. That will get us some loot. And we didn't have to return that key too. And of course we're going to steal the money from Gil's lockbox. Stack of silver coins. 21.98. There's a rope arrow here too, and then up on bookshelf is a purse behind the canisters. 22.58. Okay, can I do this? Because I want to head up here. There's a thief in here that will station himself in this room and then go for a little patrol route. I don't think I'm going to get spotted up here because everybody walks east and then north. Nobody actually faces this direction. So this is the access to the poorhouses. We want to head upstairs just to wait for that thief to come back down. This is another method that I saw Marbleman did, that I did exactly the same thing in my ghost run. So I'm not copying his moves here, it's just that they are identical. But he did it in 2 runs. I've done it in 1 patrol of the thief, so I'm going to do that now. I never really had that big of a problem with this. Should be able to, hopefully. we go. Back here in this room. This is the window that we saw open from the outside, so we're looking west now. In here. Pair of dice, 2 stacks of copper coins, and 1 stack of silver coins. Total 2330.
Feel lucky tonight. Once I get out of work here.
That we had to pick open. Now we can wait for him to go back, and then we can leave. So this will take you to the other room, the room where we read the note, and it's the far door on the left, and it's pickable, but you don't have to pick it. Oh, he heard that. Okay.
Should be a game or something.
He does have pretty good hearing, but... Oh, I didn't mean to drop like that. Oops.
People up above me get all the light and get all the fears, and I don't have another thing.
Alright, so that warrants a real save here. Let's see. 2330, that's correct.
And then people up above me get all the light and get all the fears, and I don't have another thing.
So now we actually have to go all the way back to the entrance to the steel mill power station. And the only way to really do that is by going along the streets. We might have an opening here, actually. We do. Okay. Find a dark spot here. Alright. So this door here is pickable. I'm just going to show you where it leads. It's not one I'm going to pick, because it'll be unnecessary. But if we could pick it, it would be a whole lot easier than what we're doing. Well, we can pick it, but I'm going to choose not to. You come up here. You can jump over here. And then get on your merry way to the area we need to go to use the tarnished key. But I don't want to pick the lock on that door. It's unnecessary. Because that's the door that you cannot relock under any circumstance, and you leave a door unlocked that wasn't unlocked in the beginning. Not something I want to do if I can avoid it. Okay. This building is condemned. Do not attempt to enter on Orr Street. Just gotta look around here. The tall buildings makes it a little bit easier to avoid detection, of course. But I generally don't like to walk along the streets. So I think we actually have to wait here for this archer to come back down. I don't think we can dodge him. We gotta go up on that bridge and go back into the steel mill. this is sort of a tough area to gauge. Let me see what's what here. Okay. We might be able to wait here. I think. There's nothing to attach ropes to either. Alright, that worked out pretty well. Good. That was easier than I thought. It can be tricky to to maneuver the area outside the tavern. Okay, I can't hear him from up here, so I'm gonna wait. Because he can actually... Okay, I don't think he saw me there, but... their vertical vision is insane. It's like, must be cranked up to max. That he definitely didn't see, because I was in his periphery. Alright, so we're back here. Now we're not going to drop down here. We're going to go over to this area. And this was actually a location that I didn't find on my first playthrough. I have to go through a second time. I knew that you probably would be able to enter the abandoned part of this building, but I didn't find a way to do it. So here you can actually just drop straight into the water. There's nobody that will hear you here. At the bottom you can find a crystal shard in this toolbox, total 2355. There's nothing else of interest in the water down here as far as I know. But here's another panel. Did we... close the panel up there, didn't I? Yes, I did. So we can move in here. What's that? So this is then the abandoned part of the warehouse, I assume? Or is it the steel mill? I'm not sure. And we can find a lift. So this is a lift with 4 levels. Notice that the lift is on the 3rd level now, and only some of the buttons work. The 3rd and the 4th level are the only ones that work here. So we have to click the 4th button. This one is locked, and it's not pickable. So we obviously have to go through here. And now we can go to the bottom level, because the bottom button actually works. Just a second here, I just gotta check something. Alright, so we're on the bottom floor now. Now we can get back up to the top 2, you see? And this has a very creepy atmosphere. Oh. Didn't move anything here, did I? No, just clanged a little bit. That like garbled deep voice there, I love that sound. It reminds me of Escape. The first time I heard it, or remember hearing it at least, was during Escape when you finally came back to Constantine's mansion. And you hear this sort of trickstery, garbled, weird voice that you can't make out. Anyway, the only thing worth mentioning down here is a key found far underground. Very descriptive. So that we're going to need. And then head back up to the top. Unlock the door. Now we have to return the key. So block the door or gate, whatever. Right, now it's blocked. Head back down. Floor above here, the second floor, you can't go through there. It's not supposed to be accessible. Right. Oi. Okay. There. Let's drop it here. Okay, so now the problem is we have to leave this elevator on the 3rd floor. And I'm again happy to announce that Marbleman and I had exactly the same solution to that problem. Without me knowing that you had to do this. So we have to, there's no 3rd button here on this floor. And we have to leave the lift on the 3rd floor. Now what we could do, I guess, is later we could go back in through the steel mill and press the 3rd button from the 3rd floor. That you can do in order to avoid doing what I'm going to do now. Right, you can do that. Yeah. Should we do that? Then we might actually avoid the consumable, because what we're supposed to do here, or what I did in my ghost run when I wrote the report for this, is I used the water arrow to hit the button for the level 3. So using a water arrow is not against the rules at all. I'm going to slide all the way out here as far as I can. That was too far. And then I'm going to shoot a water arrow. So the 2 types of arrows that you can use here for Supreme is broadheads or water arrows. Well, I guess you can use a rope arrow too, because you start with all those arrows. I guess technically you could use moss or gas arrows too, but you don't start with those, so then you have to pick them up, and that technically is an unnecessary pickup. I want to use a water arrow because that's silent, although there's nobody that can hear this. So let's see, I want to shoot. That might have been the top button and not the 3rd level button. Oh, got it on the first try. How about that? Oh, no. Oh! I don't know what happened there. I just walked straight in, but I crouched, so maybe that meant I didn't get enough momentum. Okay. There I was, about to boast about getting it right on the first try. And now we're probably going to spend like 5 or 6 tries more. Oh, got it again. Okay, twice in a row. There we go. There we go. Locked, and the lift is reset. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to come back down because I'm going to return the tarnished key. So you can't go back into the warehouse then and go to the back side of the 3rd floor gate and actually reset the lift there. You don't have to use this water arrow, but I'm going to avoid backtracking. So the only reason that we're going through this way is so that we don't have to pick the lock on the other door there.
Stay away from my face, thief, or you'll be sorry.
So you might recognize that warning from down the Bone Horde. There's a skull here with 2 rubies in it, or 2 red gems in it. Those we have to skip because we cannot avoid triggering a big trap here. Let me show you what happens. No way to avoid that. It's a proximity trigger, so you can't jump or do anything here. So those are worth 300, so we have to skip that as well. So that's 550 skipped loot. And that is as much loot as I'm going to skip in this mission. There's one more controversial part coming up, but shouldn't need to. So we can open this, and we should be able to close it again. Right here. And you might remember this room with the panel. Now we have avoided using that panel, and we have avoided picking the lock, because you can't replace this panel properly. Now this is interesting. This lever here opens both this gate, oops, and the gate behind that statue. And there's no lever on the other side, so we have to flip this and then head through both. I'm not going to do that now in the archer stations. Absolutely not. There. Now we get out here. So we can then go through this area. And yeah, we need to head in here now. Sure nobody's there. I don't think anybody crosses that bridge, I'm not sure, but here are 2 water arrows, and then we have this door here. This we have to pick. Don't think that... Oh! Didn't know that. Didn't know the tarnished key worked on that door. That's great to know. Huh. I didn't actually know that. Wait. I just want to make sure that when I use the lockpicks, that doesn't get counted as a lockpick, does it? I'm so happy I did that, because if I picked it open, I would have relocked it with the key, and that would have been a bust. Alright, awesome. Okay, so that isn't requiring the key. Okay. So I'm going to show you what is contained here. This is a sewer section. Some kind of a machine room here. The lift. Here's a panel. Can't get anywhere, you can't reach up there. Okay, so there's 2 floors, or 2 buttons only here, but there's more than 2 floors. here you have a spider. We can kill. There's an abandoned section here. And here's a door. This door you can pick. Does this work? This also works with the tarnished key. I did not know that. Okay. That's interesting to know. So now we come back out to the canal. This is Brogier's estate. Up here. This is the archer in the garden right up here. We're obviously not going to go that way. That's interesting. I didn't know that those two pickable doors there respond to the tarnished key. This is where we need to go, though. In here. Oh, yeah. I didn't show you what I was meant to show you. I'm not going to show that to you, but I'll say it. When the lift goes down, you can get off and stand on the ledge to that floor, the top floor there, and pick that gate. That'll take you to another machine room. That'll take you back out through this panel. And the only thing you can find there are 2 fire arrows in a rack or on a rack in a middle level. It's sort of a hidden level. But there's no loot or anything. It's all you can find there. I meant to show that to you, but you can find it yourself. So this is the keeper, or the bedroom of the keeper that was found dead, I assume. Water arrow here, and then some contraptions. Machine contraption, a lever that you can operate, and all that. So, let's find something else first. There's a purse here. Worth 80 total, 24.35. And that checks off the loot objective of 2,400. And then there is this lever right here. Alright, so that reveals a key, and that is what we need the tarnished key for. That unlocks a door here. Now this stuff here is all red herrings. You cannot open this pressure door here. I thought so, and I ended up actually reading on the forums. I tried all sorts of things. But apparently it's just something to keep the player busy. And not actually work. So even though you can operate these, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, trust me, you can't get in there. So this is a keeper sanctuary. We're going to get to right now. So whether the keeper actually lives in that bedroom up there, or he just uses it as a front to get down here, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is a huge keeper library. You cannot, well, I guess you can technically get over the fence here if you stack a bunch of things. I haven't done so, and there's nothing to pick up down there. The person you hear walking is actually invisible. I've never seen a person, at least, down there. You can hear him, but he doesn't alert to you. Let's see, there are a couple of things we can do here, though. Here is a valuable book worth 100, total 25.35, and then there are 2 readables that we can actually read from the edge here. On the hidden doctrines, in the previous chapters we have discussed the approaches to maintaining and perpetuating the secrecy that shields us from material destruction. Yet this is only a barrier before external threats, not spiritual or ethical contamination. The lessons we learned so hard, and whose costs ever haunt us in locations that will not be named here so that, even among us, they should fall before silence and forgetfulness, are also lessons for that are yet to arrive. It is the reason why the pursuit of truth will not be straightforward, lest its burden fall too hard upon one man, or give rise to destructive ambitions. It shall be divided into parts and cloaked in falsehood and manifold contradictions. This will likewise divide and confound the avid seekers, those whose desire in our order is not self-perpetuation, but a mutation of our purpose towards others. even if more altruistic ends. These are then in hidden doctrines. To encourage balance is to encourage dissent, to foment doubt among the ranks of those whose lust for truth eclipses their lust for self-discipline. To this end, contradictions have been placed among the teachings, false books among the tomes of knowledge. There are now lies within every bookshelf, and a forest of misdirection rises in every library. There are those who say this is a malicious threat from within, a ploy to render the order infirm and impotent, lost in a hall of mirrors and false mirages. Yet is there sudden and merciless war against those who have been discovered complicit in this matter, proof that they themselves are always represented a threat to the order, or a sign that the schemers within have indeed succeeded, and keeper kills keeper in a sleep, and in dusty passages over what is truth? Have these books worked their nefarious effect? Indeed, it seems that even transparent lies muddle truth, giving rise to sudden doubts. And in this same spirit, my reader, have I always lied to thee? Note, this material has been identified as a false doctrine, and is not for dissemination. No evidence in its support of its thesis, and the events it describes are present in no records. Nevertheless, a request has been submitted to the Higher Council for further clarification. Keeper Gale. Very odd. The genealogies of family Pazar. And in the days when men rose against the rule of the trickster, did a man come out of the woods with the others, and his name was Yong. And Yong begat Kam. And he saw 410 moons. And Kam begat Fide, and he saw 305 moons. And Fide came to the place of the great rivers, and he begat Kol and Dace, or Dasi, ere he perished at 474 moons. Then Kol slew Dace, and was made to break stones in a pit. Yet Kol begat Dolm by a woman of the woods, and saw 353 moons. And Dolm begat Kuf and Yorak and Bel, seeing only 228 moons. Of the three only Kuf lived, whereupon he was taken by those who watch. And those who watch said to Kuf, There will yet come a day when your children shall see the great village, and they shall then be called Pazar, and they shall be one of the founders of a line which shall rule yet not rule. But Kuf believed them not then, and went instead to the palace called Crag's Cleft, and dwelt there. One day Kuf came upon a man, and this man, seeing Kuf, took a sword, and said to him, Surely I have found the one I have been looking for. But Kuf was faster, and dashed the man's brow with a stone. Then, fearing greatly for his life, he fled into the hills. When at last he emerged, those who watched told him again, What we have told you is drawing near, and it is time you became as us. Note, this fragment, obviously of great antiquity, is nevertheless of no historical worth, and has been marked as heterodox material. The attempt to reconstruct hagiographic family history had doubtless been contaminated with material providing a rudimentary hint about our existence, and was removed to this location lest it be discovered by a casual reader. Keeper Gale. Alrighty. So in here, the end room, there are 2 gold candlesticks, total 73.35. And there is handwritten instructions. Keeper Bernard. By order of the Keeper Council, you are to leave your former tasks and observe these new instructions to the best of your ability. The previous moves in Downlock were well executed, and your solution to the involvement of the new acolyte, if dangerous, was appropriate. Concerning the matter of Azamlarg, you also did well. Her attention is now fully on the perceived threat, giving us time to consolidate our efforts in the lower locks. Nevertheless, she's intelligent and dangerous, and her nightly activities may bring her even closer to our designs. Indeed, it might well be that she already suspects our existence. Watch her closely, but do not move yet unless a direct threat arises. Instead, your attention must be turned to Webster. His desire to be warden of the lower locks is well known, but in this situation Rapudo could also have a say in the matter. It would be best if the affair was resolved to the benefit of neither party, and both would be severely compromised. The Council suggests that discord among the criminal elements may be the key to ultimate success. Signed, Keeper Nicolaus. So is Keeper Bernard the dead one? I'm not sure, but it seems likely. If he's gotten the task of watching Lady Azamlarg, he will probably be living in this area, right? But I can't be sure, I don't know. that's all we have to do down here. So now we need to focus on... It looks like you can read that book there, but I don't think you can. Now we have to return the tarnished key. No, what am I doing now? Let's see. There. And there. So now I actually found the best thing is just to fall into the canal here. You can actually do that without making too much noise because you can go in here. And then just swim along the bottom. Without getting spotted, hopefully. All right. That should be good. Leave the tarnished key there and we're good to go. All right. Let's make a real save there. Okay, so this Hammerite Archer over here has a purse. I'm gonna get that eventually. This is then Issen, the Exchanger. In this are some broadheads, I think. We're gonna head up here. There's nobody around here now, so I want to be a little bit fast. Okay. In here, there are 3 stacks of copper coins. Total 2750. Wait. Yeah. Can we drop? Okay, we can't do that. He saw me there, okay. I think we can do this. No. Well, I kind of want to get under the gallows there, quick. We can't get out there, but... Here we're safe. That door you see straight across there leads up to that bridge where you can get some coin stacks that you might be able to see in that windowsill there. But see. Here we can actually shoot, and this I want to credit Marble Man for. I didn't realize that the inside frame of the window is wood. I tried to connect it anywhere around, but he showed me that we can do this a different way. So this move here is entirely credited to Marble Man. I ended up picking the lock on the door and getting the coins like that, but you don't have to do that. So they hear that, but if you...
Who goes there?
shoot the side frame.
Who is?
There. Like that. He didn't hear that, so let's see if we can do this. That's what I usually do. I usually go up here. All the way. Until I see an opening. Can't go now, because that other guard is on his way down. Okay, so that's a good way to go. Jump and mantle here. There. So we took stack of copper coins and a stack of silver coins, total 27.75. Then we're going to take the purse from this archer here when he comes by. Just have to follow that swordsman back, or not. He doesn't have a sword. He has a mace, doesn't he? Don't want to disrespect the weapon of choice. The Hammerite's weapon of choice here. He has a hammer, not a mace. Give generously for the builder's plan. That he saw. He heard me there. That is not going to work. We're just going to have to wait. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding a hole in their pattern here. Might have to wait a few cycles. So, I didn't show you guys where we were, but we've been on Widow's Way now, and we are outside the St. Tenor's Priory, which we can't get into. And we want to now move up north and northwest up to Brocius Estate. There's a little bit to do here, but not too much. We're almost done. Can't imagine. Oh. Yeah, so he did see that. If I'm a little bit faster here, I can do that. I think.
Protects us from the squalid past.
Thought it was
Knowledge
safe
is our weapon,
in that corner, but I was
which we carve a
not.
path to an enlightened future. Who passes there?
Yeah, we can't do that either. I don't know. Can we do that? Let's try it again. I don't think so. I can't tell if he saw me or not. This is just too risky. But I have a feeling that hopefully the next cycle should do it. I can't risk any alerts right there. It's just these infernal archers. Okay, so here...
Who goes there?
Do my eyes show me the rundown?
A plague of rats. 'Twas your last warning. Who goes there?
I can't mantle up here either. This is bad. I can't get past this guy.
What is that?
Yeah, there's no time to do that. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Can this work? I don't think it will. Oh. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Swordsman was just a little bit too fast there. There's nowhere we can hide here. It looks like it's dark, but it's not. Yeah, well, we need to get past there. So we just have to wait. I don't understand. I did this on the first try. I can't do it now because the archer's on his way back, so... I'm hoping the next cycle will work, but I don't know. Yeah, I think this next one will work. Because now the archer will be down at the bottom there before he comes back, hopefully. Yeah, this one should work. Yeah. Swordsman on the other side here will not see us. Okay.
Something there.
There's nowhere to hide here either. My goodness. Well, here, let's make a real save here then, and we can handle it from there. So we do need to go up that ladder. Wait for the archer again. It doesn't seem like it fit with that other guard up there either. You can hear a thief actually on the top of this balcony. He was the one who alerted. So this is the main entrance to Brosius estate. Can't go in there, but that's where we're at right now. Right here. Or we're here, but this is the entrance. So there are two balconies here. Each of them have enemies. Let's see. We want that guy to leave. I think we're safe here. Head up here now.
This is wrong.
Oh no.
What's this?
Yeah, he sees the arrow there. Gotta get that arrow off of there. That's my bad. He didn't see the rope now, so. Let's see. We are safe here as long as we crouch. Let's see. I think. sound propagation mistakes here. Now we should be good. Over here we are safe. So this door here is pickable, and this is a weird situation. This thief is on a patrol route where he goes over and checks that door. He is scripted, I think, to just fob the door. And since it's locked, he will not be able to open it and go inside, and then just continue on his rounds like he's doing now. However, if we unlock or pick open that door, his behavior changes, because when he frobs it, then he'll open it, and then it seems like his... See right now. He tries to open it and he can't. So if we unlock it, he will go inside. But he won't alert us at all. He hears that too, man. It's a little bit weird, because if we leave the door open here, all he does is close it. Because he frobs it closed, and the door is then closed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the loot out here first now. And then we're going to hide here. And now he will open the door and come inside, but he will not alert us at all. It's just a script that now can carry itself out to its completion, because now the door's open when he frobs it. He runs inside, and then he stops right there, and then he continues. He should be able to continue now in a little bit. He closed the door, and he runs out there. Opens the door there and then closes it, and then he stands on the other side there, and I don't think he moves from there. So I think the point for Melan here is for you to go through the door, get the loot, and then get surprised because the thief now enters afterwards. He usually does open this door, that's true. He opens it again, and then it stays open like that, and he just remains standing out there, and he doesn't ever move from this. So this seems to be the end point of his patrol path. But he can only get there if you unlock the door first. But he doesn't ever give a search maneuver. He doesn't ever give a verbal remark that you have been caught. He doesn't catch the door open, he just catches it unlocked. But he doesn't alert to that, and that's not a bust for Supreme to unlock doors by picking them open. And he has never seen or heard us here. He doesn't even alert to the loot being missing. So... to me, this is entirely scripted. Maybe it doesn't feel right. I think Marble Man skipped this loot because it didn't feel right to him. That's okay. I don't have anything against doing this. This would be like leaving any door unlocked that you pick open in a mission. If somebody else comes by, they can see that it's unlocked. So that's not a bust. So I don't think the only thing is then that his script slightly changes. I'm not sure if he's supposed to just end up there or continue his loop. I'm not sure if the complete is right or wrong here, but I don't think it matters much. I am going to take this loot. So we took a stack of gold coins, a stack of silver coins, and a purse. So we should have 29, 25 at this point. Yep. What we now can do, and also...
I hear you.
Oh, we can also read the scroll out there.
Something.
Man. You can take this loot after he goes out. If he ends up like this, you can lean around and take it, no problem. I wouldn't close this door, though, because he opened it. And I think he would alert if you close it anyway. So there's a scroll here. Barely legible note. Here's what I can had day's time. I will can have more, just lets me lives and works. The lady watches from her homes, knows all folk, and she knows me for takering. She will ask, Guinness, there take you man's purse, and now you hangs by the neck. Then I will hang. But will I hang, will you hang me sides? Alright. Somebody's supplying him with loot here. So yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with taking this. I'd like your opinion, but I don't think this goes against any rule of any kind for Supreme. Let's see, I think I can drop here and then not take any damage. So now we're headed through part of Brosia's estate. We're gonna head upstairs, and really all we have to do now is go home. There's one more piece of loot that we can grab on the way. Let me just check here before we head. Yep. We have everything we need. Oh, come on. So this is the door to the power station, the one that actually worked with the tarnished key. To get back here, it's a little bit tricky actually. I do this. Then we need to be able to reach that again, which we can here. Wait for that archer to come back. So now you guys recognize where we are. We have to take a purse in this, purple vase in that window. So yeah. It's a long mission, big mission, but it's just so well made. The city design is just, the layout. Fantastic. Here is a purple vase. There's a door in there too that can be opened, weirdly enough. But you can't ever get in there. There. Go in here. There is a loaf and a carrot in here as well. Let's wait for that guard then. Good. That was not my intention to do. Okay, that's it. Awesome. So that was a successful Supreme Ghost for Disorientation. We didn't take any busts. We used one water arrow to reset the elevator in the abandoned warehouse or the steel mill area. So you can avoid that by going back in through the main entrance and reset the elevator from floor 3. But it's not a bust to use a water arrow, so that's not a problem. So total time 1 hour 50 minutes 57 seconds. We found 2950 loot out of 3500. We skipped 3 pieces of loot. We skipped a torque in where was that? That was early on in the mission, wasn't it? In Beaurigard's estate. That triggers traps, so that was worth 250, and then we skipped 2 rubies for a total of 300 in the abandoned warehouse. That also triggers traps. So both of these are traps. So that's 550, and that brings us down to 2950. Pockets picked 3 out of 5. There aren't any more than 3, I believe, and we took all purses. Locks picked 7. That's the lowest I can get it to, I believe. Backstab 0, knockout 0, no damage dealt taken or healing taken, nothing and nobody killed, no iron beast destroyed or disabled, and there's no secrets in this mission. So this is a top-notch mission. This is like A+ stuff right here. The next thief mission we're going to do, like I said before, is The Sound of a Burrick in a Room by Skaki, which rivals this mission, I think, as one of the best city missions ever made. I love Endless Rain too, but I actually think that Sound of a Burrick, in terms of the layout of the city, almost beats Endless Rain. Endless Rain is extremely high up. You know, it's vertical. Sound of a Burrick is not, but it still has a lot of city highway or thieves highway type transportation. So I'm not sure which one I like better. I love them both. But yeah, this is a gem of a mission by Skaki, so I hope you're looking forward to that. We're not done with Melan's missions. I have a few more planned. A few for the Dark Mod especially. So next mission, next video though, will be Tears of St. Lucia Mission 2 for the Dark Mod. So I'll see you back then. In the meantime, stay safe and have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.